Driving Americans, they've been dealing with rising gas prices for months, but Russia's invasion of Ukraine has only made things worse.
So the average price of gasoline shot up 45 cents a gallon last week, and it could rise even faster if the United States stops importing Russian oil. Joining us right now, Chairman and CEO of Red Apple Group, which includes Gristedes and United Refinery Company, John Catsimatidis. Nice to have you back on Good Day.
Well, thank you, Rosanna. Thank you, Bianca.
So, John, everybody knows you as the supermarket mogul, but a lot of people don't realize that you also have oil companies.
That's our main business. The supermarket business actually is like 2% of our businesses. But we're very much concerned about what's going on right now, Rosanna.
So what is going on here? And why is this happening at this point?
Well, it all started last year when President Biden became president, and he closed down the Keystone Pipeline, and he closed down some of the operations in North America from producing oil. We went from 13.5 million barrels a day that the United States was producing down to about 11.5. Then instead of buying oil from Canada, he started buying oil from OPEC. He started buying oil from Russia. And the prices started to surge. And the prices went from $50 a barrel up to $80 a barrel. And bottom line, we were making Russians rich again. We were making OPEC even richer. We're making them zillionaires again. And the American public and the poor were getting poorer, and the middle class were getting poorer because the money was being transferred. Instead of buying gasoline from our own sources in North America, we're buying it from Russia and OPEC.
But John, this has been going on for quite some time now. This is going on before, Joe Biden was president of the United States.
Now, what happened is we went from 13.5 down to 11.5, so that 2 million barrels of oil we had to buy elsewhere. So it started a pyramid of things, a domino effect. And what's happening is that if we don't buy from Russia, the White House sent a delegation to Venezuela, which is part of Russia now. Venezuela is right. Part of Russia. I mean, the American people are not dumb. I don't understand why they assume the American people are dumb. And what I've said publicly yesterday, I said that we can solve the problem very easy. The White House has to call a meeting of Canada, the United States, and Mexico. North America could produce more gasoline, more crude oil than all of them put together. And we could produce as many as 20 million barrels a day, which what happens then? North America becomes self-sufficient, and we don't have to depend on foreign oil.
How fast can that happen, John?
I think with the announcement that we're going to do it, prices will drop to maybe $60 within 90 days.
Okay, well, John, I would love for you to explain why this also cannot happen, because you have progressives on the left that are saying they don't want to drill here at all because it's an environmental liability. So maybe you can explain why that won't happen.
Well, Rosanna, tell the progressives to drop dead. We're getting poorer. We're getting poorer. Everybody else, the rest of the world is getting richer. I mean, what do we want to do?
Well, I have a question. Well, I mean, when you're talking about the American people, we just saw the State of the Union where President Biden got a standing ovation because he mentioned that to combat these gas prices, he was going to release 60 million barrels of oil around the world, including 30 million from our own petroleum reserve. Now, what did that do?
Zero. You know what that means to the American people? We burn 20 million barrels a day. That's 2.5 days. That's zero, nothing. So all they're doing is giving a feel-good scenario to the American people.
So, John,
feel good, we're doing something.
John, Shell has announced this morning it's going to stop buying Russian oil, natural gas, and shut service stations in Russia. What will this mean?
Nothing. You know why? China is going to make up for what Shell is not doing. And China announced yesterday they might buy part of the Russian oil companies that British Petroleum might be giving up. So what's going to happen is you're going to have a Russia-China powerhouse. And that'll create a new powerhouse in the world.
John,
that's why I insist that we should have North America has to take care of themselves, because Russia and China are going to take care of themselves.
So I'm just wondering, I mean, because you really can talk about from oil to milk prices. I mean, what are we going to see? Because this is going to get passed down, not only if you're thinking about getting on a plane and go visiting grandma in Boca Raton in a month from now, but also, you know, buying that, you know, gallon of milk. Bottom line,
The prices you see right now in the supermarkets, the prices you see right now at the gas pump, those are the prices from 45, 60 days ago when the barrel of oil was $80. Right now, it's $120 plus. If the $120 price maintains itself, what you're going to see is $6 to $7 gasoline by March and April. You're going to see 15% higher food prices by March or April, because if the costs get reflected to the retailers, you got to reflect the costs.
What does that mean for prices here for New Yorkers, though? Because I know you're saying like that's a general standard, but what will we see here in the tri-state in terms of gas prices per gallon?
I would say $6.50 to $7 a gallon.
And that could only continue to go up?
If it maintains $120 a barrel.
John Catsimatidis, thank you so much for coming on and explaining this to us this morning. It's depressing.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't
depressing.
seem...
It's going to, if you plan to fly to Europe, it's going to cost you plenty.
If you're planning on flying to Boca Raton to see Grandma for Passover, it's going to cost you plenty too.
I've already filled it.
All right. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you.